Welcome on into an at-home edition of the Cleveland Browns Report by Chat Sports. Matthew Peterson here, breaking down the DeAndre Carter signing. The Browns are bringing in a wide receiver technically, but I look at this as a special team signing and specifically a kick and punt return specialist. So let's first begin by getting to know Carter a little bit, his background, who he is as a player, and then we'll talk about his fit with the Browns. But first, if you're wondering, all right, who is DeAndre Carter? Let's start there. First off, he's been all over the league. The place he stuck the longest would be the Houston Texans. He played there 3 seasons, but beginning in 2018, he was with the Eagles, went to the Texans, was there for a little bit, went to the Bears, then went to the Commanders, went to the Chargers, went to the Raiders, went back to the Bears, and that's where he played 13 games a season ago with Chicago, where he finished second in the NFL in kick return yardage, coming in at 31.9 yards. So that's a little background on who the Browns just signed to a 1-year contract. It's a very cheap, low-level contract. I think it's $800,000 guaranteed. Jordan Schultz, the first one to report it. So the Browns bring in some special teams help. And now that we have a better idea as to who this player is, let's just spend a few minutes talking about his fit with the Browns, because they need some help in this department. They have not had a ton of consistency in punt or kick return. I mean, let's just begin with kick return for a second. Jerome Ford was supposed to be that guy, and then once Nick Chubb got injured, well, they had to pull back on Ford on special teams because they had to ramp him up on offense. So I was curious just how much inconsistency, we'll say, there's been at kick and punt return. And I knew it was always a bit of a bleak-ish spot. Not the worst in the NFL, but by no means are they a model of success to emulate after for other teams. So let's start in 2023. Let's go back 2 seasons, all right? Kick returns. In 2023, they had 3 different players return kicks. Pierre Strong Jr., followed by Jalen Darden, and once by James Prochet. But by and large, like back then before the new kickoff rules, primarily touchbacks. Punt returns. Let's talk about punt returns in 2023. Number 1 was James Prochet, then Donovan Peoples-Jones, then Jalen Darden, then Elijah Moore. So 4 different players returned punts. But 2023, different kick return rules, so let's kind of put that behind us. How about 2024? 2024, we had 3 different players return punts: Darden, Prochet, and then Kadarius Toney. I don't think he has a job in the NFL for much longer, if at all. Kick returns, you had, get ready for this, okay, Jerome Ford leading the way, followed by Pierre Strong Jr., Deontay Foreman, Jalen Darden, Caden Davis, Gary Brightwell, I forgot he was on the team, and James Prochet. With the NFL's new kickoff rule having a lot of success from the standpoint of returns are up, touchbacks are down, and there's a bit more excitement in that play, whereas before, that was a play that people went to the bathroom for. Like, oh, kick return, don't need to see this. Going to go and get myself a new drink or something to eat because this is a non-factor play. So with an uptick in returns, the Browns, wisely so, are making it a bigger point of emphasis for their roster construction. And that is where we're going to see DeAndre Carter play a role for the Browns, because unfortunately, they've made efforts at this. It's just sucked that injuries have gotten in the way. And knock on wood, that does not happen again this year. My dog's ears just perked up because she thought someone knocked at the door. Jakeem Grant, the injury in training camp, back-to-back years, he was supposed to have a role on special teams. And just, it's not like Andrew Berry didn't try to fix that part of the roster, but he can't control if a guy suffers major injuries, a popped Achilles, and I think it was a torn ACL and more, and back-to-back Augusts. And then Marquise Goodwin, he was a wide receiver signing, but he still had speed with the blood clots, and he never really found his way onto the field with much consistency. So hopefully this special team signing can stay healthy. But DeAndre Carter, who is 31 years old, and he's got a lot of experience in kick returns, and he can help out on punt returns, he comes over to the Browns on a 1-year contract near about $1 million and change, $800,000 guaranteed. So not a lock to make the 53-man roster, but I think this definitely puts Pierre Strong Jr. on the hot seat a little bit because he has been battling for that last RB spot, and one asset he brought to the table was, I can help on special teams. Well, if you've got a new kick returner, you may not need Pierre Strong Jr., right? You have free agents in James Prochet and Jalen Darden. Or James Prochet, like, are you going to bring him back? Maybe, probably not anymore. It looks like they want to just go a different direction altogether and bring some new life into the special teams, because it's just been, I mean, put the kicking aside, because I don't think it's fair to lump all the missed field goals last year from D-Hop with kick and punt return units. That's not a fair, thing to sandwich together. But by and large, the special teams unit has just been underwhelming for a little bit too long, right? It led to Mike Prefer's firing, and Bubba Ventrone comes over, and it was better for the first year with Ventrone, and Hopkins was great 2 years ago now, but last year it was a bad unit, and with or without the bad kicking, there is still room for improvement. So I'm optimistic about this signing. I'm not going to try and pass it off as, oh my God, the Browns just made an incredible sign and this is going to change everything for them now. No, but special teams are going to have a larger role in the game. We like to joke that special teams is a third of the game. I don't even know if it's really a joke. It's not a third of the game. It's an important part of the game. If it was a third of the game, they'd make up a third of draft picks. They don't. Am I wrong? Like 45% of draftees are for offense, 45% of draftees are for defense, and that last 10% is kickers, punters, and guys in day 3 of the draft who you are taking solely for special teams and nothing else. It's not a third. You can maybe change it from 10 to 15% if you think it's a higher margin than that in the draft, but it's not. So I know that because the draft tells me that. But with the new kick return rules and them catching, a little bit of pace and a little bit of traction, it'd be dumb to ignore it. No, you should try and be at the front of this, ahead of the curve, right? Be the path leader for other teams to try and follow you and your success, because this is a copycat league. All right, that's going to do it for us on our home edition. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you go ahead and do so. I don't know what other channel breaks down a DeAndre Carter signing for you as soon as I get home from work. So click that sub button, like the video, and as always, if you're still watching, drop a CLE for me in the comment section below.